I'm going to be installing this Stagepro pickup system into this guitar. It's by LR Baggs, an Anthem system, so it would have the transducer mic at the bridge plate as well as a piezo. So firstly we got to cut a hole through the guitar so that this from the inside will fit right through here and the controls will be seen to the player. So they send a template that we cut out, and I'll just be following that. So there's one line cut. I'll flip the guitar around, cut the other side. Here, so now the piece has been removed, and hopefully, this will fit in just perfectly. I'll need to file away. I cut the hole a little smaller because you can always file it away bigger, and it definitely needs to be a little bit bigger, I guess. As the template was rounded, I just kind of cut it square, so I'll be definitely doing that. The width is perfect, actually. So we're on our way. So I've got the hole all cut out, slightly smaller than the template, and I think that was a good idea because the screw holes end up being very close to the edge, but certainly fits perfectly. But I would possibly even just cut it slightly smaller than the template. You can see how it's tight there, and it's actually a little shorter, but cut the hole smaller and then file it out. What I did was use some of these Stumac tools to kind of, this half round one just to round the edges there, and then this flat one doesn't have any filing surface on the edges. So did that, and a little bit of block of wood, and sanded it all to fit. What I'm gonna do now though, and I've already did it to this side, is put a little bit of CA glue on the edges, and I think that'll just seal the wood and also possibly catch onto the finish a tiny bit so it won't ever peel. So that's what I'm going to do a bit now, is just seal the edges of the freshly cut wood. Freshly sanded. I had already done this side of it. I used a little bit of this Glue Boost accelerator. It's great for just drying up the super glues, CA glues. And that gets us ready for the next step. On some guitars, the output jacks are really screwed in tight, and this one's kind of loose from the inside, but it's really tight here. So this is a really ingenious tool called Jack the Gripper, and it has this little knurl part that's not centered, so when you do poke it in and turn it the opposite way, it'll grip the jack, and the jack is held tight, and you're then able to twist this out and then take that all out. And without that, it's a job almost impossible, really. Jack the Gripper. Before I install the piezo, I got to drill a hole. Actually, the hole was on the other side, but make it more functional to drill one on this side for this new Anthem pickup. But I want to increase the string ramp, so there's various files for this kind of thing, and it'll just make everything that much better. So the idea is to just increase the ramp by a wee bit. Round that edge. And I'll do that to all of them. Now I'll take some of this Mitchell's abrasive cord and I'll soften up the string ramp a bit more by sanding with the abrasive cord. Just softens that curve of the string. Making sure not to pull too much on the inside of the guitar, so you don't want to sand away at the bridge plate. You just want to soften that curve where the string takes its turn. I'm going to be installing the piezo pickup right now into this lovely Larrivee 09. The idea is to just create a slight angle. Be careful kind of where the braces are inside too. But the idea is just to create a slight angle at the end here. And off we go. Looks great. Avoided the brace by a good 1/4 inch or so. And then we'll take some of this Mitchell's abrasive cord and kind of soften the angle where the piezo will be turning onto the flat surface of the saddle slot. I'm going to install the output jack, and Stumac has a tool that's great for installing the output jack, and the idea is to put the outer washers and nuts on that end, and then through the sound hole you can place the output jack. When you haul it through, you can tell, like in this case, there's not enough there to grab onto, so the idea is you just kind of go back at it and unscrew this one, allow more room for the tail block, and give it a go again until you feel there's a comfortable. That's too much. Slightly too much. Not much. I guess we're pretty good there. I will change it a tiny bit, but what I like to do on the inside here, since it never really gets touched again, is put a little bit of blue shred lock compound on there, and it'll just help this from spinning any further, I guess. And then when you haul it through, the washers and nut are already on this end. And then here, you can pass, something straight through the output jack, and then tighten it without the output jack turning. There's the light tension, but just enough to feel it's gonna be fine, and then the strap button goes on thereafter. And there you go. I'm going to be installing the piezo now, and there's a black dot on one side of the piezo which will indicate it needs to be up in the air for proper phase orientation. One way to help figure out how to put this in where the hole is you just take a tiny toothpick, and when you go inside you can feel where the toothpick is. And there we go. And find your way in and up. Again, make sure the black side black dot of the piezo is up in the air, and that will provide provide proper phase orientation with the other pickup that this system has, the transducer that'll sit on the bridge plate inside the guitar. I'll just put a bit of tape on there and it'll hold it there. Going to be installing the second pickup of this guitar, which is this transducer. So you could, with the preamp, blend the piezo with the transducer, or put more of one than the other, whatever your choices are, I guess. The bridge plate requires a tiny bit of sanding here, just to smooth it out. So I've got a tiny block of wood with some sand. I'll clean that off and we'll find a place for it. We'll keep the chord side on the bass side. And I can feel for the front of the bridge plate there. And I'll lightly touch it to the top of the bridge, onto the bridge plate, but I don't want to push it real firmly yet. Again, feeling for the front of the bridge plate. And just ever so lightly touching it on there. Here's the completion of the LR Baggs Stagepro Anthem. Installed well. The screw holes I think could have been slightly bigger because the system, the preamp, hauls in against this holder, so they could have been a little bit bigger. There are numbers 1 and 2 on here where the piezo hooks onto number 1 and the transducer hooks onto number 2. Also created a bone compensated saddle, and that completes the install of the LR Baggs Stagepro Anthem on this beautiful Larrivee.